Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Here's an unusual thing. I'm actually going to agree with Chris Witty. After spending about 2 years standing there in Downing Street, telling us all what terrible people we are and inventing numbers, he's actually said something that makes sense and I agree with. He's done a review, a major review, some are calling it, and the result of this is that the NHS, he says, must stop hiring foreign doctors and start hiring British doctors. He's saying there are thousands of junior doctors taught in the UK and they face unemployment owing to what they're describing as training bottlenecks. And this is despite, there is a massive shortage of doctors, which is why they keep looking abroad. But, and of course, what you do is you take those doctors from abroad, then you've got no doctors in these other countries. But the reason is that they go so far, they go up the training, do their medical qualifications, they get to to what they call junior doctors or resident doctors in hospital and things like that. But there's then no training beyond that to sort of consultancy level or specialist and things like that. Well, there are, but not very many. And the result is that the next batch of junior doctors come up need to be trained. So the junior doctors that exist now have to basically be effed off and go, so right, we've done your training to that level, we need to get rid of you so we can bring the next lot up. And so there's lots of medical doctors actually being made unemployed out of the NHS. Now, of course, a lot of them then go abroad. So we, the taxpayer, have coughed up an awful lot of money for their training, which they then take and practice abroad and earn twice as much money in a nicer conditions. Odd, innit? And so what Witty's saying is that basically you cannot shy away from the fact that a recruitment crisis is meaning that we're getting lots and lots of foreign doctors at the expense of British trained ones. And data show 1 in 4 workers now in the doctors in the NHS are foreigners. 25%, a full 25%. It shouldn't be that high. It should be 99% British. And indeed, really, 100% British. But it's time to act, he's saying. It's time to not waste the huge sums of money that's been invested in these people. And he's quite right. We haven't got enough doctors. This is an absolute factor. And we haven't got enough specialists, consultant level doctors, which is why waiting lists are so long. So let's do that. Let's not hire foreigners. Let's open up the training to our doctors. And then even if half of them go into private practice, it will still leave so many there working as a private doctor that it will ease the burden on the NHS. It's only sensible. Now, junior doctors, or let's say what they're now calling resident doctors, they don't like the term junior. Junior implies that they're not very good. Well, actually, no, it just means that they're not consultant level, they're not specialists. But once they've finished 2 years residency training, foundation training in, say, the hospitals or whatever, they must apply to become a specialist. Consultant or GP or whatever you want to do in order to continue their career. But of course, what you're getting is all these foreign doctors coming in who are already previously trained to that and taking those positions. And it's just wrong. We need to make the rule that hospitals can employ no more than, say, 5% of foreign doctors, and then force the hospitals to train their own doctors up to consultancy levels. I think that has got to be a good idea. Otherwise, you're just wasting money training people for them to sod off to Australia, America, who knows where. Let me know your thoughts on this one. And I do think, for once, I'm agreeing with Chris Witty. Never thought that would happen. Thanks very much. Bye.